One of the greatest concerns that most property owners will have when placing their home into the rental market is, how do I know that my property is being cared for properly, shown proper respect by the tenant, and how does my property manager ensure that the terms of the lease are being met and that needed repairs are being done in a timely fashion? Many tenants take real pride in their home, and we count them as a real blessing, but unfortunately, not all tenants will live by the same standards in cleanliness, organization, and respect for the property that we would hope to see. Part of our duties as property manager is to ensure the tenant abides by the terms of the lease, takes reasonable care of the home, and observes the right of their neighbors to quiet enjoyment of their home. What I'd like to cover in this video is when and how we conduct home inspections, as well as procedures for handling work orders and component failures within the house. Property inspections. There are actually two different types of inspections. There are move-in, move-out, and periodic inspections. Now, prior to the time that a tenant takes possession of the house, we do an extremely detailed inspection of every room, the exterior, and the grounds of the residence. We use an online program called Snap Inspect for both our move-in, move-out, and periodic inspections. These inspections are stored in the clouds, and the program allows us almost infinite number of pictures. These inspections can easily be emailed to the owner, the tenant, and uploaded to our property website. Now, when a tenant takes possession of the home, a copy of this report is given to them, and they have 10 days to review the report, make any additions or corrections, and return that signed to our office. When the time comes that the tenant vacates the property, we do a move-out inspection, and this report will once again surface and be compared to that move-out inspection. Any damage to the home that occurs since the move-in inspection would reasonably be considered to be the responsibility of the tenant to correct. Occasionally, there will be a disagreement between the tenant and the property manager as to if some damage to the home was existing before they moved in. A good and detailed move-in inspection will certainly help in settling this dispute. And it should be noted too that normal wear and tear on a home is expected, but normal wear and tear does not mean dirty or damaged. We do periodic property inspections on a quarterly basis. The inspection will consist of 1. Overall condition of the premises, 2. Verification that the tenant contact information and employment status hasn't changed, 3. Verification that there are no additional people living in the house that are not on the lease, and 4. Verification that there are no unauthorized pets. And finally, we'd like to discuss with the tenant as to if they're happy with the rental arrangement and if there are any repair items that need to be addressed that have not been reported by a work order. I also make it a habit of doing drive-bys on our rentals when I'm in the area. If I see something that causes me concern, I will contact the tenant and conduct an unscheduled inspection. We also like to visit with the neighbors of the properties we rent and leave them a business card. Sometimes they can act as an early warning system for something that's going to need our attention, and you never know, they just might be a future client. Property maintenance. I'd like to talk a little bit about how we handle maintenance at the rental properties. If something fails in the house, we ask the tenant to submit a work order via our online website. Anytime we have people communicating verbally, there can be a misunderstanding, or occasionally somebody just flat drops the ball. This could result in a needless delay in getting a potentially serious problem resolved. If the tenant submits a work order in writing, the repair will be handled promptly and professionally, plus the tenant has documentation that they have properly reported the problem and are in keeping with the terms of the rental lease agreement. These work orders are updated as they traverse our system, and the status can be observed by the tenants, owners, and our staff. These work orders are forwarded to our vendors to expedite any needed repair. Repair reserves. Most property management companies will require that they hold a certain amount of owner proceeds in what is called a repair reserve. This amount can range anywhere from $100 to $500 and is used to pay vendors for their service work in a timely fashion. Repair reserve funds must be held in an escrow account which can and will be audited by the state. We have found that the paperwork involved in transferring repair reserve funds from the escrow account to our operating account and then back again is more work than any benefit we receive. Therefore, on any of our management agreements we have with our clients, the repair reserve will always be zero. Cost of any repairs will be deducted from the following month's proceeds. Speaking of repairs, let's talk about tenant responsibilities. If service is required at one of our rentals and the failure is due to normal wear and tear, the owner is responsible for the cost of repair or replacement. If, on the other hand, the failure is caused by the action of the tenant, they will be responsible for the repair. Say, for instance, a sewer line backs up because the main sewer line has collapsed or perhaps tree roots have grown into it. That would be the responsibility of the owner. If the sewer line backs up because of something non-organic that the tenant has placed in the system, it would then be the responsibility of the tenant to pay for the repair. If a toilet needs plunging, we would also expect them to take care of that. Repair bills. It is our policy to pay repair bills on the 10th and the 25th of the month. This keeps the vendors happy and giving us immediate service. Paid repair bills will always be deducted from the owner proceeds for the following month. If the repair is required at the residence, we will notify you, the owner, that the service call has been generated. If the repair exceeds $300, we will get your approval before proceeding. The only time that we would act without owner approval is in an emergency situation where we have to take steps to 1. Protect the property, or 2. Protect the tenant. Even in the emergency situation, we will still make every attempt to contact the owner. Insect and pest policy. When a tenant takes possession of the home, they will be responsible from that point for dealing with insects, mice, snakes, squirrels, and any other uninvited guests. The owner is responsible for termite inspections and treatments only. This doesn't mean that if an infestation is getting out of hand that we wouldn't intervene to bring in professionals if necessary, but it would still be at the tenant's cost. If you have more questions about how we care for your property, I hope that you would give me a call. I'd be more than happy to talk to you and answer any of your questions. My name is Lynn Albert Smith. I'm the Associate Broker and the Director of Business Development for JJC Management and Holdings. My direct phone number is 757-237-6786. You can contact us at our office at 757-213-6990. My email is lasmith71746@gmail.com. I am a licensed agent in Virginia, and I work out of our Churchland Boulevard office in Chesapeake, Virginia, which is in Western Branch. Thanks so much.